This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 3rd day of August in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Less than 2 weeks since the National Assembly approved $31 billion in supplementary funding for the government, another request was made by the administration today for an additional $61 billion in more supplementary funding. Minister responsible for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, presented the financial paper number 3 to the National Assembly as it met today. Of the total requested, $10.1 billion accounts for current projects, while over $50 billion is needed for the execution of capital projects. The government is also requesting $25 billion to facilitate the construction and rehabilitation of community roads, and another $1 billion for the construction and rehabilitation of urban roads.
I rise, sir, to present to the National Assembly Financial Paper number 3 of 2023, supplementary estimates current and capital totaling $61,13,184,705 for the period ended 31st December 2023.
Also included in the requested sum is approximately $2.1 billion for the provision of additional resources to facilitate the construction of the Wismar-Mackenzie Bridge and $1.5 billion for the upgrading of hinterland roads. The government is also requesting $4 billion to execute urgent drainage works in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. $100 million is also being sought to facilitate pasture development in regions 2, 3, 5, and 10, while another $1.5 billion is being sought to facilitate the rehabilitation of 1,572 hectares of temporary abandoned lands at Albion, Blairmont, Rose Hall, and the Iflot estates. Additionally, the government has requested almost $80 million for the Berbice Bridge Company and approximately $230.5 million for the Transport and Harbors Department. Another $1 billion is being sought to facilitate urgent repairs to health centers across the country. Just last month, the government used its majority in the Assembly to approve $31 billion in supplementary funding. The opposition registered its concerns, with opposition members telling the House that the requests for funding are coming months after the Assembly approved the country's largest budget, which totals $781.9 billion. The opposition said it is clear that the government lacks proper financial planning and budgeting. The opposition has also warned the government against using money from the contingency fund in breach of the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy, now enrolling grades 7, 8, and 9 students for the 2023-2024 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 613-4806.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 226-0415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Well, despite repeated objections from the opposition APNU-AFC today, the government defended its move to increase the country's debt ceiling by some $250 billion. In defending the motion to the House, Minister of Finance Dr. Ashni Singh said the increase in the domestic public debt ceiling to $750 billion and the increase in the external borrowing ceiling to $900 billion from the existing level of $650 billion is intended to accelerate the government's development agenda.
This government has given a commitment to the people of Guyana that we will be delivering development to them in an accelerated manner.
And in response to growing concern from the opposition about the increasing external debt being incurred by the government, the finance minister assured the House that the government has been prudently managing the country's financial resources.
The proposed adjustments to the debt ceiling that we have brought to this parliament keep Guyana firmly within the boundaries of a highly sustainable debt position and very strong debt and fiscal sustainability. In fact, sir, if you compare Guyana's debt to GDP ratio, today we rank amongst one of the countries with the lowest debt to GDP ratio across the entire hemisphere. A reflection of sustained, prudent management by the People's Progressive Party in government.
As he sought to round up support for the proposed increase in the debt ceilings, Minister Singh said prior to 1992, Guyana was highly indebted due to the poor management of the country's financial resources at the time.
It is a well-known fact. It is a well-known fact, sir. It is a well-known fact that under the People's National Congress, Guyana's debt had accumulated to a level in excess of 600% of our gross domestic product, more than 6% the size of the economy. It is a well-known fact, sir, that under the PNC, prior to 1992, we were spending in excess of 100% of government revenue to service our debt. Today, sir, we have reduced not only our debt stock, but our debt service obligations, to the point, sir, where our debt stock now stands in the vicinity of 25% of the size of our economy, moving from 6 or 7 times the size of the economy, sir, to a quarter of the size of the economy.
Further, he told the House that the APNU-AFC, while in government, had incurred an illegal overdraft and concealed it, even as it refused to adjust the debt ceiling, he said. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell and Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad were among government MPs who supported the motion, as they spoke about developments unfolding across the country. But APNU-AFC Member of Parliament Jurita Finance, in opposing the motion to increase the country's debt ceiling, said contrary to the picture painted by the Minister of Finance, the government continues to misuse the country's resources, even as it continues to add debt burden on the shoulders of current and future generations.
Mr. Speaker, there are several risks associated with borrowing against projected oil revenues in oil-dependent economies like Guyana. a nation that is now heavily reliant on oil export as a primary source of revenue. Our country now faces unique challenges due to the volatile nature of oil prices, which can fluctuate unpredictably based on global supply and demand dynamics. One of the most significant dangers faced by our now oil-dependent country is its vulnerability to oil fluctuations, oil price fluctuations, that is. If oil price plummets, as we have seen in the past, we will be struck by a severe revenue shock.
And pointing to the Bank of Guyana report in the first quarter of this year, the APNU AFC Member of Parliament said according to that report, the country's total stock of public and publicly guaranteed debt, which comprises both external and domestic debt, increased by 2.3% to over $3.7 billion. She warned that there is a danger associated with raising the debt ceiling in all dependent countries like Guyana. And MP Amanza Walton Desir was also among the opposition members who stood in objection to the motion. The motion comes just 2 years after the government increased both the domestic and external debt ceilings. The government of Guyana has announced that it has taken a decision to stop all mining activities temporarily in the Chinese landing area in response to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights precautionary measures that were issued to Guyana on the 21st of July. The Ministry of Governance said the decision will allow for a more conducive environment to address the concerns of the indigenous community. In its report, the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights said the people of Chinese landing in Region 1 are at serious risk of suffering irreparable harm to their human rights. The indigenous community has been facing a number of issues related to illegal mining and breaches of the rights of the indigenous people under the Amerindian Act. In its statement last evening, the government noted that its decision to halt all mining activities in the area temporarily is as a direct result of the ongoing communication between the government of Guyana through the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and the Chinese Landing Village Council. The Village Council had also issued a call for a halt to mining activities. The government said a team from the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Geologian Mines Commission will be deployed to ensure there is a halt to mining activities at Chinese Landing. According to the statement from the Ministry of Governance, the government welcomes the efforts made by the Chinese Landing Village Council and commits to continue working directly with the beneficiaries, the people of Chinese Landing, and their elected representatives through Shao Orin Finance and the Village Council. The government has also lashed out to the Amerindian People's Association, accusing that organization of being disingenuous in a recent statement on the issue. The association has accused the Ministry of Governance of not clearly understanding the recommendations as laid out by the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. The APA has been calling out the government on a number of rights and other issues to the indigenous communities across the country. In response, the government now wants the APA to make its financial records public and make known how it has been using international funds.
Access to quality education for Guyanese countrywide is becoming a reality with the support of monies from the country's oil and gas sector. Some $94.4 billion was allocated this year to support the further development of the education sector. This covers access to textbooks, transportation to school, and hot meals for thousands of students. 30% of the funds used to propel development such as this in Guyana this year is being provided from the country's oil revenues.
We will always rally round our friends.
We home. The men in maroon are back in Guyana to battle India in 2 T20 international matches at the Guyana National Stadium. Catch the action in the cool, stylish fans T20 series, powered by Black and White, on August 6th and August 8th, bowling off at 10:30 a.m. Purchase tickets at windiescricket.com and receive 20% off box office prices. Tickets already discounted. Other conditions apply. West Indies versus India. Let's rally around our team. We home.
Rally, 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 rally around the West Indies.
Oh no, I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. You I it. Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Oh, yeah. Oh, and every country want friendship like the
Alumni Association presents Official Night of Elegance New York edition. It's going down Friday, September 1st at Naomi and Burchell Suites, 8926 Avenue D, Brooklyn, New York, 11236. Ladies, come out looking beautiful. Doors open at 7 p.m. Contribution $100. Dinner start at 8:30 to 10:30. It's the official Night of Elegance.
Two miners lost their lives on Wednesday night when a mining pit collapsed, burying them deep underground. Police investigators have identified the two miners as Treyon Hastings and Rocky Norton. The incident took place at Moonlight Bank Dam Camarang Landing in the Upper Mazaruni area. The two men were reportedly working in the mining pit after 10 o'clock on Wednesday night when it suddenly became loose and collapsed. A police statement said the two were the only ones working in the pit at the time. Another miner who was close by and noticed the collapse immediately raised an alarm and alerted other miners in the area, who launched a rescue operation. With the use of two excavators, the search team started to dig through the soil in search of the two men. They were able to finally reach the bodies 2 hours after they started the search. Both men were found lifeless and their bodies were pulled from the mud. Both bodies bore multiple injuries, according to the police. Police investigators who visited the scene have since transferred the bodies to Georgetown, where post-mortem examination will be conducted. The probe is continuing tonight. Guyana has recorded a number of mining pit collapses and deaths in recent years, raising concern repeatedly about the mining practices and monitoring of miners in many of the interior mining districts. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit discovered more than 134 pounds of marijuana stashed in several parcels in a clump of bushes in the Kanji Berbice village of Palmyra on Wednesday. While the Kanu investigators were working on a tip-off, it appeared as though the owner of the large quantity of marijuana might have also been tipped off, since no one was found at the scene or nearby. Kanu said it was conducting an operation in the area when the 8 parcels of marijuana were discovered. According to the Drug Enforcement Agency, the seized marijuana carries a street value of more than 18 million Guyana dollars. An investigation has been launched, but there has been no arrest in the case. The half-year report by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit found that Region 6 has emerged as the #1 hotspot for illegal drug possession and trafficking in Guyana.
Did you know that Gassi's Jet A1 fuel is a type of aviation fuel specially formulated for turbine engines? Jet A1 fuel is safer to handle and transport than any other fuel types due to its high flash point and low volatility. It also boasts a high energy content, enhancing aircraft performance and efficiency. So whether traveling for business or pleasure, choose Gaio's Jet A1 fuel for a safe, reliable, and efficient flight.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? I just pay my bills using MMG,
Yes, Jack, and the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait. I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man, Jack. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shopping comfort today at Foodmax and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Foodmax, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall in the region. As part of their visit to the Caribbean region, the Saudi Fund for Development SFD Chief Executive Officer Sultan Al Mashad and his accompanying delegation visited St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where they met with Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves and a number of his government ministers. A statement said during the meeting, both parties discussed upcoming priorities in development cooperation, as well as progress in relation to SFD-funded development projects in the country. In their discussion, they also emphasized the important role that international cooperation and solidarity play in advancing sustainable development, particularly in small island developing states. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves said SFD has long demonstrated solidarity with the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in their quest for sustainable development. The follow-up visit by SFD promises to enhance further support in various economic sectors and particular capital projects. For his part, the Saudi Fund for Development Chief Executive Officer said it was a pleasure to visit St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 2 months after the signing of 2 loan agreements to support the nation's healthcare and social infrastructure sectors. Trinidad and Tobago's opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar has come under fire for her now popular empty the whole clip on intruders comment. The People's National Movement, PNM, has described Persad-Bissessar's comments as worrying. The party is now urging her supporters to not be misled into the path of lawlessness. In promoting the United National Congress UNC proposed stand-your-ground laws, along with easier access to legal firearms, the opposition leader on Monday went a bit further than she usually does on the topic and envisioned a UNC-led future where lawful firearm holders can empty the whole clip on intruders in their homes. According to her, it was time to fight fire with fire. Almost immediately, that part of her speech went viral. PNM said it was deeply concerned that Trinidad and Tobago is at present being encouraged into a form of behavior that can lead to immense problems. On Tuesday, the Council for Responsible Political Behavior said the opposition leader's comments will be examined at its next meeting. But it seems Persad-Bissessar is sticking to her guns. And finally tonight, international news. BBC in a report said former U.S. President Donald Trump pleaded not guilty to all 4 election lies charges during his appearance at a Washington, D.C. court. According to the report, prosecutors did not ask for Trump to be detained, but he was warned of consequences if he were to communicate about the facts of the case. The former president is accused of fueling the January 6 attack on the U.S. Capitol by sowing distrust in the 2020 election. The indictment also says he pressured election officials to change results in a failed attempt to cling onto power. Trump hit out at corruption, scandal, and failure after Tuesday's indictment was made public. He has previously been charged in 2 other unrelated cases, which relate to secret documents and payments to former porn star Stormy Daniels. Despite the criminal charges, Trump is the favorite to be the Republican candidate in the 2024 election.
And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.